Welcome, everyone. My name is Shadia Amen, and before anything else, I'm a mom to an incredible almost 25-year-old who's in medical school and a bright, spirited 12-year-old who's in middle school. They're my greatest motivators and my daily reminder of why I do what I do. I've spent the last 25 years working with special needs students, a career that has taught me patience, empathy, and how to see beauty in every kind of moment. All qualities that blend perfectly with photography. In January, I'll be taking a leave of absence to fully dive into my creative world, expanding my photography business and helping launch our social media store, which is opening this January. Although I've had a camera in my hand most of my life, my professional photography journey began in 2018, after I took a huge leap of faith and attended a photography conference that completely changed the trajectory of my life. During that conference, the creator unexpectedly pulled me up on stage for a live posing demo. Let me tell you, as an introvert, I nearly had a panic attack walking up there in front of hundreds of people. But that one terrifying moment became the spark that set off a snowball effect. Just 1 week later, I was invited to join the TEDx Detroit photography team, where I now proudly serve as a senior lead photographer, 7 years strong. I share all of this because leveling up your photography game will look different for each person. For me, it started off with one brave decision: to show up, network, and step into a space that once terrified me. Everything happens for a reason, and everything that's happened since, the opportunities, the collaborations, the confidence, it all came from that single decision to bet on myself. That same conference made a connection that also introduced me to Robert Courtney 5 years ago. And that connection has truly transformed my business, my brand, and my belief in what's possible. So, as we dive into this workshop, I want you to remember, sometimes the biggest growth comes from the smallest moments of courage. You never know what can happen when you decide to take that first step. So, here's to leveling up your photography game. Picture this. Thank you. Hi guys, I'm Shadia Amen. I am Robert Courtney's photographer. I've been there for 5 years. I have my own photography business as well. I do seniors, large scale events, and I work special needs. So this is me in a nutshell. So I'm here to help you guys level up your photography game, and I want to ask you all, who here has a camera? Everybody should be raising their hands. Well, I was like, all have a camera. Who here has a business? Does everybody have a business? Guess what? You're all content creators, okay? Your photography, whether it's from your phone or a camera or somebody else, is your name card. It is your ID. It's your identity. People are going to identify with you from what you share. So, what I want to ask each of you guys, or a couple of you at least, is what is your why? Why would you even need photography? Are there any actual photographers, professional photographers, or up-and-coming photographers? Miss Alicia in the back. Why do you shoot photography?
Because I love to tell people stories.
Love that. Telling stories is something we're going to talk about today. Wonderful. Is there anybody else here that shoots photography? Yes.
I want my food to look good.
You want your food to look
I'm a
good?
chef.
Beautiful. And what a perfect reason to want to get into photography. That's awesome. So, because you want your things to look the best, your best bet is to do it yourself, right? In time, when you're starting off with your business, you will find somebody that's going to do it for you because you're not going to have time to do everything yourself. Now that I am working with a social media marketing company, I am learning the importance of social, so introducing yourself on social. And 5 years prior, you would never see me online. You'd see me in a group shop maybe, but never videos or talking to people. This is my first time talking to a room of people. So,
You're doing amazing.
thank you. So in doing that, you want to make sure that people know who you are, and by doing so, you want to record yourself. I don't care if it's on your phone, if it's old or new. They just need to see you. Nobody is buying your brand. They're buying you. They want to connect with you, and that's what's going to make them want to look into what you have to offer. So, when you're shooting for your content, does anybody here shoot content on their phone for themselves? Okay, perfect. When you do that, how does it make you feel after you're done shooting? Tamashian?
I don't want to share it.
Why not?
I don't know. I got a whole bunch on my phone that I just don't. And that's why I'm here, just to kind of like
I love
get it
that.
out and
Yes.
edit and all that stuff. It looks good. It's
Of
amazing,
course, but do you share it?
I don't share
I'm
it.
the same way. I was the same way, and it took me so long to get to that point because the content looked good. I didn't want to share it because I didn't want my face out there. But one thing I learned every single time I posted, I don't care if I got 3 likes or 300, I got an inquiry, and that was coming from the consistency of shooting and putting it out there. So, let's see. What do you need to start shooting? There's a few things that you need to start shooting if you want to get into the professional mode, and outside of the phone stuff, which is these days the phone stuff is pretty good. But you want to get it a little more serious. This is what you would need. Your first thing would be a DSLR camera, and that's the camera that has the detachable lenses. I would recommend a mirrorless only because technology changes so quickly. So in order to stay up with the times, I would start with a mirrorless. And there are some really decent priced ones that are coming out or have already come out that you can start with. I'm a Canon girl, so that's all I would recommend. Woo! But Nikon's got its gold, and of course Sony does its magic as well. Everything, depending on what you're shooting, there's a different brand that's going to work for you. An SD card. Everybody can get a memory card and SD card, and they are cheap these days. But you want something that has a fast write speed, so that when you're taking a picture, if you started off in photography, you probably bought a cheaper SD card. When you take a picture, it's going to say busy for a second. It's writing whatever picture you just took. So you want something that's got 150 to 200 megabytes per second, so that that picture you can go snap, 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 and it's going to read all of it. Don't forget your camera is a computer just as well. Okay, I would say 64 to 128 gigs, and that would help you just because you might be shooting a large scale event. If you're shooting in a raw form, you're going to need that space on your SD. Another thing that I would suggest getting, and this is just because lenses are expensive. All right, no matter what your body is, your camera body, it's your glass that's going to make the difference. Okay, so you want to focus on getting good glass, and a great starter lens is called the Nifty 50. It's a 50 millimeter, little tiny thing. It's got normal compression, so it's not going to make anybody look too wide or too compressed. And it goes down to an aperture of 1.8, which, if you guys don't understand what the aperture is, that's what makes that background nice and creamy and blurry. What it's also great for is low light conditions. So when you're in a low light condition, you're going to want a wider aperture, which is a lower number for your f-stop. So that runs, I think, 120 to 160 bucks. Compared to a typical lens, like the lens I've got on now is over $3,000. It's great for what I do. I cried when I bought it because it took a hit, but it was not a loss. It's an investment. So I want you guys to keep in mind, whenever you're investing in yourselves, remember that it's an investment. Yes, it's going to take something out of your pocket, but I want you to make sure that you know that it's going to help you. It's going to help you pay the bills later. Okay. The next big thing is a camera strap or a holster. Protect your assets. You want to make sure the camera that I carry around is probably 8 or 9 grand in just on my hand. I need that to be protected, and I learned really quickly that without a holster, very easy to bump into somebody and drop it, and you will cry, especially when you see that kind of money fall. Light source. There's going to be darker places like you see in the creator in the main stage. It's dark. Yes, the stage is lit up, but if you want to get the people that are in the crowd, you're not going to do that without flash or without some sort of light source. So if you're shooting for people, whether it's a brand or just for yourself, you want to make sure you have ample light because shadows and stuff are going to make you look different and make a person look different. And you want everything to be even and balanced and looking great because that's your business card. That's your name. So people, when I'm taking pictures of people, they're like, oh, make sure I look good. First thing I tell them is it's my reputation just as much as it's yours. I want you to know that it's going to look good, otherwise you won't see it. So, extra batteries, extra SD cards, be prepared. It is very easy to go through a battery, especially when you're just starting out and you're taking like 5,000 pictures of the same thing. Don't do that. save your batteries and always have an extra one on hand, because there is no worse feeling than seeing your battery dead and then finding out you don't have another one. My favorite was when I got to an event, forgot all of my batteries, and the one in my camera was dead. Oh, thank God it was somebody I knew. I was able to run home and grab something. Does anybody have any questions about that part? Okay, I like that. Okay, so creativity in photography is seeing ordinary things in an extraordinary way. Okay? Your creative eye is a unique perspective that's influenced by your personal experiences, your emotions, and your environment. So that could look different for everybody. And I say this because I do a beginner's photography course, which we will be teaching at the social media store soon. All right, we open up in January, so I want to make sure you guys know that. We'll have workshop upon workshop there. And beginner's photography and leveling up your game hands-on will be happening as well. Your creative eye is how you see something. So what I do in one of my classes is I'll put up an object or a doll, and I'll have everybody take that photo. And the first thing I say, and the only thing I say, make sure that's your photo. We are all going to take the same shot, right? I don't want that. Nobody wants to see that. They want to see your shot. What is going to make your photo different from their photo? That's something that you have to always think about when you are shooting. Is how many photographers have you seen today? Plenty, over a dozen, right? And everybody's got their content creation in their hand in some capacity. What is one person's picture going to be any different from the next? It's their creative eye. So you want to make sure that your photo is standing out, because the only thing that's going to make me look at your photo versus the next person is that it looks different than the others. And it's a different perspective, a different viewpoint. All right, and that's something that is really important for you to acknowledge while you're shooting, because that will be your thumbprint. That's your blueprint. That's who you are. I've had people, since I started working with Robert, come up to me and say, I know you and I know your work. I can see a photo and say that that's Shadia's photo. And that was very interesting to me. It was very exciting because I didn't know I had a son, but I do. And I love that people recognize that that's my work. So that was a big push for me to stay focused on how I shoot and be intentional about what I shoot, and to make sure I keep that creative touch to it. Because after a while, especially if you're doing it professionally, it can become redundant, and you might want to just get pictures over with. But guess what? Then you're just going to be like everybody else, and you're going to slip right back into the crowd, and that's what we don't want to do. Anyone can take the same shot. Nobody can take your shot. So you want to always know what your shot is going to look like. And this goes to anything in life, right? Everybody can do what you're doing. What's going to make you do it differently? What's going to make you do it that people are going to say, oh, I didn't see that person. I want to talk to that person. That's what you want to make sure you are standing out with something. Perspective is key. Okay, and these are the things that are going to make you stand apart. This is what will help you level up your game. Your perspective on life is what makes you stand apart from the next person, right? So when you're setting up your photo, there's so many things around in certain situations where you can frame it, whether it's a window or trees hanging over. That's sunrise on Belle Isle. When I need a break, that's where I run. I go 4 o'clock in the morning and I go to Belle Isle and I catch twilight hour where it's blues and purples, and then once the sun comes up, and I was seated and I saw that shot while I was getting up. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I spent a good 20 minutes doing that, but it was such a beautiful frame, and it made the entire sunrise look completely different, right? That is something that, again, will help you stand out, this could go for your own content with your phone. When you're shooting, if you're setting up your phone and you're doing content, set it up so that it's shooting through something, or maybe there's flowers hanging over the side, so you have something in the frame to reference the distance or what the pictures are looking like. Your angles, always check your angles, okay? What does it look like from a child's point of view? What does it look like from a giant's point of view? From eye level. What is going to make your photo look different? It's going to be your angle. Your perspective is key to who you are, right? I've got a big thing, like I like to shoot in weird spaces. I like to shoot at weird angles. I get really low, And you'll see some photographers, they'll be rolling on the ground and, you know, on their stomachs. And one thing we all tell each other is anything for the shot. You might get dirty. That's okay, because when that shot hits, it's worth every minute. Like Belle Isle, when I go shoot there, it's typically in the fall. It's cold, but the pictures are worth every single second. Okay, so always keep an eye on how you're shooting and what's going to make your photo look different from the next person. That's just my main thing for you guys, honestly, because again, everybody takes the same shots, especially if you're new. You just want to get that picture, get that picture. Don't. Everybody's got that. And if your picture's not really saying anything, just another picture, right? It's going to get lost in the shuffle. You're not even going to feel anything for it. Distance matters. I know. Found a bug in my house. A spider. I am not one to kill anything. I can't squash it, but I put a couple into it. On top of it, I had to. It did pass eventually. And I decided to use my macro lens and get some photos. Yes, it's not cute, I know. But if you look up at the up close ones, it doesn't look as scary as those legs. So your distance is going to matter. It's going to tell you a different story, okay? And those are the things that are going to catch people's eye, all right? Because this bigger spider to me looks a little more inviting than the other one. If I saw the other one, I'm probably going to freak out. So this was my first time doing a macro shot of a spider. I've seen the I've seen the cartoons, I've seen, you know, movies, and they have all the eyes. I had no idea that was a real thing until I shot them. So it was really cool to experience that. That's another thing. Shoot every single day, whether it's on your phone, on the camera. Make sure you are shooting every single day, because the only way you're going to get better, find different perspectives, see different points of view, is if you try. And I don't care if it's for 5 minutes. I don't care if it's from your couch or from the toilet. Just shoot something, do it from a different angle, and test it again another day when you're in a different mood. Your photos will look different. I don't have a set style when I shoot. I meet the person, and within the time frame of meeting them and getting started, that's what my photos just look like. It will match the energy. So sometimes they're dark and moody, and then sometimes they're light and bright and not my style. But if it matches the person, it matches for me. I have to do that, and that's one thing I can say, that I don't really have a style in that capacity, because my shooting style will depend on the person that I'm shooting next. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, okay? What is your photo saying? Photos should tell a story. And if they're not telling a story, again, it's just a shot, right? And there's trillions of those in our phones. They're just shots. Is your shot telling something? So, this picture of the two chairs, I'll tell you a quick story. When I took that photo, it was during a rough patch. I was having to say goodbye to a friend, somebody personal that I wasn't ready to say goodbye to, but I knew for my growth and my health and my better life, I needed to just end things. So, we were up north, and I had gone up into a barn loft, and these two chairs were sitting there. And it had been 2 days, I was avoiding this conversation like plague. And I knew I had to get it done because it was time. So we get up to this loft, and I see these pictures, and I see these chairs, and I start shooting it. And it spoke to me, and it was at that moment I said, we need to talk. What I ended up doing is putting this in my very first art show, and it was titled We Need to Talk, and it ended up winning second place. And I thought that was really cool, because I would have never put anything into an art show, and I did, and it spoke to one of the judges, and that's what they had told me. So that meant a lot. Moving forward, I went on to do an art fair, and I was selling my work. I always take this photo because I love what it means to me and how it speaks to me, but I never sell it because that's my baby. That's my absolute favorite photo. A woman had come up to me, and she had been staring at the photo for quite some time. And I went up to talk to her and asked her, what her name is and what she's up to and what she was thinking of the artwork. And she was near tears. And she said, this photo is speaking to me. I said, really? It speaks to me too. That's why it's here, but I don't sell it. She said, I need to have it. And she went on for about 10 minutes telling me how she needed to have it. She told me her story. And it was something along the lines of she needed to talk with somebody. It just told her that was the time, and that she needed to talk to this person now. And I said, you're so strange. Let me tell you how I got that photo. And so we had a moment, and I ended up selling that photo. Never sold it again. I don't even have a new copy myself. So that's something that I'm working towards allowing to share what speaks to you. It's okay. You don't have to keep that stuff in. If it's speaking to somebody else, by all means, share it. It means the world to them too. The next picture is Robert Courtney, and you can see he is walking over to a director's chair. What if you were looking at that photo? What would it say to you? Does anybody have an opinion or a guess or a thought? Does that photo say anything?
Getting ready to pitch something.
He is getting ready to pitch something. Anybody else?
Man on the moon.
He is a man on the moon. And at that point, we were just getting started. It was our first photo shoot in a infinity wall, which is a wall that kind of curves down and it's in a corner. So it almost looks like it's just you're in a completely white space. And it was really fun. We ended up building one in our social media store. As soon as I knew we were building the store, that was the first thing I asked for. And we got it. So I'm very much looking forward. But in doing so, we put up the director's chair and we were getting ready to introduce, I believe it was CreatorCon. So to me, I look at that photo and I'm looking at Robert getting ready to take the next step into his next role. And it spoke to me in that capacity. So when we posted, that could be part of what our caption is. It could be an intro to whatever it is that we're sharing that day. But again, you want your photos to say something. If they're just a photo, people are gonna say, "Oh, it's a photo." What's gonna make them stop and say, "Oh my God, that's really good. That says something." All right. Okay. So there's a few things that I wish I knew when I started out, and I got to learn the hard way. And one thing I don't want anybody to ever do is learn the hard way. Our parents always tell us learn from our mistakes, and we always have to learn the hard way. This is an expensive lesson to learn. So these are some things that I wish somebody had told me when I was just starting out with photography. Focus on your content. Focus on your consistency. Who cares if you get 3 likes? I don't think I've ever gotten more than 20 on an average day. But every single post, I get an inquiry. Every single post I get, somebody reaches out and says they need something. Not saying they all come, not everybody likes my prices. But they still are inquiring because something that I shared spoke to them. And I do a little bit of inspirational stuff, and it's more or less, I think I'm talking to myself when I do those posts, but I might as well share it with everybody else because it's something that's always on my mind. And I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking it. So focus on being consistent with your content. Post every day. I know it's hard. You don't have to come with an elaborate caption, but you've got ChatGPT. You've got friends, and you can just literally take something off the top of your head. You can put song lyrics. When I first started posting my work, I posted everything with the song lyric, all country. Okay, I'm the only Arab hillbilly you might ever meet. So, but the lyrics spoke to me, so I needed to share them, and so I'd always find a photo to match it. And it got old because I went through all my favorite lyrics and I couldn't keep finding lyrics, so I moved on and I started to just share different content tips and tricks while I'm shooting and posting my content. Most importantly, no matter what, any business that you're in, not every client is your client, okay? Don't take it if it's not a good fit. Don't take it because they're asking you for a discount right off the bat. Don't take it if you're not feeling a connection because it will show in your photos, it will show in your content. If you're creating content for another person and you're not feeling them, it's gonna show, okay? It's okay to turn down work. It is okay to say, we might not be a good fit, but let me suggest so-and-so. I have so many people come up to me, I want you to do my baby photos. I'm not doing it, yes. Oh, I got 5, really? Yes, that never happens. Okay, we'll move on then. All right, be intentional about your shooting. You still have to cull through your images, okay? There's no point in sifting through 5,000 photos. And I'm telling you because I do it all the time today. I still get through them like, why did I do all this? Just get the photo, focus on what you need to grab 1 to 4 shots of that. You'll find what you need in those 4 shots, I promise. And if you don't, then we're gonna go back and you're gonna come see my beginner's photography class. All right? Take your time, get the shot that you want, and keep going with the next shot. Take your time and get it right in camera, because when you shoot intentionally, you have to edit minimally. If you buy cheap, you'll buy twice. Let me tell you how expensive that can get. Don't save a couple bucks, don't save $100 for something that's gonna last you 3 years less than what the new thing will be, okay? Go put your efforts and put your money into something of value and that's got a brand name maybe, especially when it comes to technology and photography. It's an expensive hobby, it's an expensive job, but it will work for you. If you buy the cheap stuff, I promise you're gonna have to buy a new one, and you're gonna probably have to buy the right one, and it's gonna cost them. All right? Invest in your education before your equipment. Do workshops, do courses, do mentorships, do conferences. They'll take you further than any lens to lens will. Okay? Master what you have in your education, and then take what you've learned, and then get the gear that you need. And if you have questions, reach out. I'm happy to help. Okay? The next opportunity to learn, if you're into photography, is in March. It's for the professional photographers of Michigan. It's in Troy, and they do this every year around February, March. Okay, it's called the Professional Photographers of Michigan. It's Great Lakes Photomax, and it's March 7th and 8th. They have a pre-con on March 6th. Okay, I've been to this for 4 years, maybe 3 years. Last year, I managed to find myself on the board. So now I'm on the board of the Professional Photographers of Michigan, and I'm hoping to bring some value to that. I'm still learning. I am not a board kind of person. This is something I did learn. That's not for me. But I'm glad to be able to help, and it helped me so much that I want to make sure that you guys all know about it. Katrina's going to be speaking there. I'll be doing a coffee talk as well in the morning. All right, so if you join the Professional Photographers of Michigan today, you can get the Photomax deal for the weekend for $159, and they are in the podcast playground. So please check them out if you have any questions. There's somebody there that can help. I believe that is it. Does anybody have any questions? Does that mean I did my job? Yes.
What is your most used lens?
Ooh. For events, it's a 24-70. It's a 2.8, and that means I can shoot pretty decent in low light. And for my portraitures, it's a 70 to 200, and that's a 2.8 also, and that's a big lens. But it works because it gives you that nice boba creamy background, and it has a nice compression, so it makes it personal. Whereas a 24-70 is good for groups as well as one person. Yes.
If you can just tell us one thing that kind of took you from being an amateur to being a professional, is it like one thing that when you felt like you arrived, it's like, you know what, I'm pretty good thanks to this.
So I took my very first beginner's photography course through the Dearborn School's adult education program, which I'm now teaching. I got there, excuse me. Learning how to use my camera changed everything. One thing I would suggest, excuse me, put your camera on auto, take a photo. What had happened?
I know, right?
The person is being blocked.
I don't talk like this usually, so this is new for me. Take a picture on auto, check the settings, put it on manual, and then find your creative balance. That's what I did, and it changed everything for me because I was able to tweak it to make it look great and still technically correct. So doing that made life, it opened up a whole new world for me. I was able to see so much.
When is your next beginner's class?
My next beginner's class will be in March through the Dearborn School's adult ed program, and then come January, we're going to be doing workshops there. Those dates are not set yet.
How do we find that? Like, where do we find that?
You can go to Dearborn School's Community Education, and they will give you the link there. And if you look into the social media store and sign up for the emails and updates there, you'll see all the workshops that will be coming through soon. Okay. Yes.
How much of the education from photography to videography is
It's so different.
okay?
I just started goofing with it. My son was doing all the editing, so I was great. He left for medical school, and he's like, "You're on your own." Great. It's a very different realm. So I'm just learning this. So it's definitely worth tapping into. definitely worth tapping into, but they're two different beasts. Anybody else? Okay, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for getting through me. Alright, looking forward to the next animal.
Shadia, will you be posting on your social?
I absolutely will. My
So everybody
Instagram,
should
thank
follow
you.
you,
I
right?
appreciate that. I always follow back, yes. Photos.by.shadia is one of them, and the other one is Shads580. SHADS 580. That's my Instagram. You'll probably see all your faces there today. All right. Thank you guys again. I really